Ephesians chapter 6. Let's start reading in verse 1. It says, "Children, obey your parents, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you, and that you may live long on the earth. And you fathers, do not provoke your children to anger or to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord." It's saying, I grew up actually seeing. I can remember that there was one relative that I had, and that relative, his dad was like, well, it wasn't actually his dad, but his dad was like so mean to him. He was like so mean to him. I mean, whenever I was around them, that dad was always just speaking such bitter, venomous words towards him. And you know what happened is that boy ended up growing up. That boy ended up growing up being like a bitter, violent person. I mean, he didn't end up being that way with me, but he ended up being a bitter, violent person. And it was because his dad was like so mean to him. And like I said, it wasn't his dad, but and it was actually a so-called Christian that did that. And his life didn't turn out good because of it. Well, that's not what's supposed to happen. We're not supposed to be treating one another. We shouldn't be responding with anyone in anger. If you are angry, you're not being led by the Spirit. Our actions, when your actions are being dictated by anger and by wrath, you are not being led by the Spirit. Because Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 says that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, and peace. And do you know your kids should be seeing that. Your kids should be picking up on the energy of love, joy, and peace. And you should be bringing them up in training. You should be literally training them. It's almost like a young Jedi. I like those Star Wars movies, a young Jedi learning the ways of the Force. Well, I'll tell you what, I have learned over the years how to obey God's Spirit. And if people will listen to me, I can literally train them how to pick up. I can train them how to pick up on the impulses of the Spirit and how to follow God, how to hear God's voice. And see, that's what God's wanting. And that's what we need to be doing with our kids. And it is an exciting thing, and we should be doing it with joy, love, joy, and peace. There should not be anger, even when you're disciplining your children. And that word, training them in the admonition, bringing them up and training them in the admonition of the Lord. That means when you train them up, when you discipline them, you shouldn't even be angry when you're disciplining. When you are disciplining them, and that was actually one of my weaknesses. I mean, I would get angry. And I mean, my kids, they all had pretty tender hearts. But I would get angry when I'd be disciplining, and I mean, now I'd probably cool it more, and I would wait on the Lord. I would just wait. I would let the anger subside. I mean, when there's anger, just stop. Stop what you're doing and let the anger simmer down, because you do not want to be dealing with your kids in an angry way and provoking anger in them. Because if you do, you're going to turn them against you. You're going to turn them against God. Don't do it.